a pleasure to have you back in World Cross Country Running, because the last time that you actually ran a cross country season, if I'm correct, was back in 2007. Can you tell us a little more about how you took the decision to come back to this discipline in cross country running?
Thank you for having me today. I think my decision to come back to cross country was rooted in going back to my running logs and seeing the seasons that I competed in my best, whether it was on the track or in marathon running, and it always was in a year that I competed in cross country. So the strength that this sport builds as a distance runner is second to no training out there. So to incorporate cross-country training and racing really instills a toughness in you as an athlete that makes this sport so incredible.
So that's some words of advice that we should have to share, as President Jack was saying, to the rest of the running community. Now, you have been quite successful at World Cross Country. You have won 2 silver medals. But times have changed. We've seen that the Eastern African countries have come along, and the last winner that was non-African born was back in 2004. How would you rate the chances of outsiders countries like the US and maybe European countries to get on the podium tomorrow?
I think anytime a runner gets out on the starting line, the entire starting line is a threat, and I wouldn't count any other countries out in getting on the podium tomorrow. When you get athletes that are hungry for victories and teams collectively that are hungry for victories and displacing the Africans on the award podium, that you've got to take everyone out there seriously. So we'll die trying.
And actually, I was here in Bydgoszcz 3 years ago, and I can still remember the joys on the faces of the American runners when they announced that they had won the team bronze. 2 years ago, they won bronze again in the team standings. So how much of a pressure do you feel to follow on their footsteps?
I don't feel it's a pressure, but an honor to represent our country and try to be the best we can be on race day. And I think as far as trying for an Olympic bid, a berth at cross country on the Olympic bid, I hope that each one of us runners makes it look like we're having such a great time out there that it would be hard to resist.
Good luck to you then. Thank you for now.
Ski resort town in Central California where we can get up to 60 feet of snow in the winter months, although just a 10-minute drive down the mountain, and we're running in dry desert. So I feel very fortunate to live in a place that prepares me for any type of cross-country conditions that nature seems to throw at us. This is typical cross-country weather. I wouldn't want it any other way than to finish the race sloppy, muddy, and a little bit cold. So I definitely feel that I'm right at home here in Poland with some snow on the ground and a little bit of mud.
Thank you, Deena. Emily, do you want to ask the question?
Here, as a non-African competitor, do you think the reason the numbers are in decline is because athletes from other parts of the world have looked to the Ethiopian and Kenyan dominance and said, we can't challenge them? Because surely in the long term, the only way non-African runners can get amongst Ethiopians and Kenyans on the track is by racing them on all surfaces. You can't run away from them by not deciding that you're not going to compete against them on cross-country.
There's no doubt that as athletes we look at the people that are winning races and breaking world records as guides to where we want to go in this sport, but by no means in this sport, when you look at that, it should fuel a competitiveness, not a defeatist attitude. So I think the best in the world and the people aspiring to be the best in the world should look at this as a challenge to rise to and not something to defeat them before they even try.
Thank you very much. I think we have time for 2 more questions.